And so looking at the board that we have, like we have a ton of great bets right now for college football that are popping up right now. Typically speaking, that happens. I'm recording this video on Friday night. Really, there's just not as many checks and balances in there for prize picks or underdogs. So some of these bets may or may not still be available, but we do tend to see them be available a little bit more. What I want to call it are going to be some of these fantasy score prop bets that we are getting between prize picks and underdog, where we are clearly getting some big edges. So I'm going to sort by fantasy score, and then I'm going to get into college football here. And average sportsbook line for Caleb Johnson. Okay. So we don't really know how to gauge whether or not we want to be betting the over or the under. And just, you guys are wondering, part of the projection data is the average sportsbook line. So like kind of ignore the projection line for this one specifically. But this does call out just how drastic of a prop line difference we have between prize picks and underdog. Now, this is already adjusting for what the underdog line would be with prize picks scoring. And so we're using the prize picks cheat sheet. This is a massive middling opportunity that we have here. That's not the only one, because we have Desmond Reed for over his fantasy score on prize picks is one that's really popping up, but this is even a better bet on underdog, or sorry. We would want to bet the under here on prize picks, but we could also just bet the over on underdog, again, where we are getting that big prop line difference. Continuing on, Dylan Sampson for under his fantasy score, DJ Giddings, Jalen Noel for under his fantasy score. We are getting a lot of big edges here with just these first five. And so this is a situation where I already have went out and bet the unders on all these on prize picks, and I'm doing all the overs on underdog. That's kind of my first step. I'm trying to hit those middles because those are pretty crazy. Now, when we go in and flip this around, we're also going to see that we're getting some pretty good ones, especially with some quarterbacks. Now, the nice thing about these quarterbacks is the fact that it's like a one-for-one swap. Okay, so we see Rocco back. We got Will Rogers. We got Cade. We got Jackson Dart. Okay, so all of these are a little bit off. Okay, and for most of these, we are not getting the sportsbook lines just yet. So again, we really can't properly gauge whether or not we should be betting the over-under via the sportsbooks. But that's also really give us these lines. And so again, that is where we are getting these big edges. And so I really like the idea of betting. It'd honestly be the unders on underdog with these guys, and then betting the over on prize picks. So underdog is overvaluing these a little bit too much. And so real quickly, this is like the example of what we're doing here. So with all these, we are trying to bet on really prize picks being wrong or underdog being wrong. Now, obviously, we can pick and choose our spots. Like I actually like the Noel over fantasy score prop bet a little bit better on prize picks. And then I actually like the Reed over fantasy score a little bit better on underdog, those bets. But right now, the point of this is we are trying to hit some middles with these bets. And so I like Noel, because decent matchup going against Texas Tech. And I bring that up because I kind of like the overs a little bit better here for the quarterbacks, where we're betting the overs because those are obviously off. So I like Rocco back a little bit better. That's a weird way to kind of stack that game, is by doing Rocco back over his fantasy score on prize picks and then doing Jalen Noel over his fantasy score on something like underdog. That's a good way to go about doing it. But again, we're trying to hit those middles. So that I want to start with those middles because you're likely going to be able to take advantage of those edges. If you are someone that's watching this an hour before lineup lock or game lock, maybe those have been, corrected out once, again, those average sportsbook lines get in there. But again, just want to show you guys, some of the bigger edges that we are currently getting. We have several really good bets right now. Receptions props right here. We got 3 different receptions props that are going to be good EV bets as it sits right now. Again, typically speaking, I don't really include these in the bet of the day button, so you guys can take advantage of those bets. If they're still there, by all means, go for it. Okay, so those are going to be good edges for us. And then then we got Surratt for his. We can see really why there's probably a decent prop line difference. Not favored to get a touchdown, so obviously fantasy likely to score a touchdown. Now let's go ahead and get into some prop bets that I kind of personally like on this slate that we can be targeting a little bit as well. So another player that we're not getting sportsbook data on just yet is going to be Owen McCown. I actually like his over passing yards. We can see like over the last few games, really last 2, he's been able to crush this. The thing with him is he throws the football a lot. Now, sure, the matchup for him is not all that great. I mean, I would actually say this. Memphis is not good at stopping the pass. So he is someone that I really like to get over his passing yards here. But I really like just kind of stacking this game in general. So we got Owen McCown in this game. I like his over passing yards. He throws the football a lot. I think he's like top 10 in the NCAA in terms of like pass attempts total, but he's also going against a quarterback who also throws the football a lot with the Memphis quarterback here. So he slightly, the match was wrong. So he gets a decent matchup going against the UTSA pass defense, whereas the Memphis, it's a good stacking opportunity in a game that should be very pass heavy. We're attacking the pass heavy script of this game, and by stacking them two together, one, we're not getting a reduced payout, which is nice, but we're just saying that this game is going to be a little bit more of a shootout where it's going to be a pass heavy script. Yeah, both quarterbacks ranked top 10 in terms of pass attempts, so we're really banking on this being a really pass intensive game. Now, a bet that I actually really like is going to be Trevor Etienne to get over his rushing yards. You look at the matchup, it's going to be a decent matchup there going against Florida. Florida has allowed opposing running backs to go for about 164 rush yards per game on average. And if you look at it as well, Georgia is a little bit thin at the running back position for this game, where the next two kind of players that would be taking snaps for him are going to be out as well. So that should only mean that he's going to get a little bit more work in this game, which to me is going to be pretty huge. And if we go back into it, we can see Georgia's favored by almost 15 points, which again should lead to a little bit more run heavy of a script. And so I'm kind of disagreeing with the sports books here and saying let's bet the over there. I feel pretty decent about that one. And then another one that I kind of like a decent amount is going to be Armstrong to get his under receiving yards here. This is more of a matchup thing, and a matchup thing in the sense that I just think that their offense is going to feel a lot of pressure in this game where they're not going to be able to throw it as frequently or as effectively as they would want. Thus, Armstrong, who has kind of consistently been able to get this over, is going to get the under. And I do want to call out that the PrizePicks line that we are currently getting here is clearly the outlier. So the average sportsbook line would have it closer to 79.5. Not a big difference, but then when we compare it against the projection data that also doesn't like it, and the underdog line that doesn't like it as well, given the matchup as well, I kind of think that this is a good spot to be betting the under as well. And yes, the data doesn't exactly agree with that assessment. If you wanted to, you could actually bet his under fantasy score. Same rules apply. Yeah, I would almost argue that's a little bit better, but it is a high scoring game, so I don't exactly love that. Watch, so this is what they're 7.5 point favorites. This is going to be one that's easily cashing throughout the whole game, and then it's going to be the fourth quarter, 7 minutes left, and then he gets it in like 2 drives or something annoying like that. But either bet, I think is going to be a good one for us. And so then we'll jump into the underdog cheat sheet here. We are getting several really good bets. And just to call, like the Jackson Dart one, the data actually really does like the under a little bit better on underdog here, so I'm happy to do that one there. We actually got Aiden Childs. This is a little bit shocking to get over his fantasy score of 15.15. We can see the average sportsbook line really likes the over, which kind of stands out to me, guys. Whenever we get these fantasy score lines that are kind of telling us to bet the over, it does stand out, especially on underdog, because they are typically a little bit higher with their evaluations of these players. So I definitely take note when that happens. Then another prop I actually like is going to be looking at Dylan Gabriel to get his over passing yards. We see that big prop line difference between PrizePicks and underdog here. And we see the average sportsbook line would have it at 273.2. So I really like the over there for Dylan Gabriel. Slight edge there. Projection data really likes the over. Kind of a lower scoring game, but they are favored to win by 14 points. Hopefully he's the reason as to why. And so again, if you guys want any access to the sports.com, get access to them for just $10 a month. But when you use the promo code Keep Cashing, get access to them for just $8 a month for the first month. That'll give you access to all the tools that you saw in this video, as well as plenty more fantasy golf tools, DFS tools, NFL tools, plenty more. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys want to sign up for email notifications, get updates on really the website and everything, you guys can sign up right here. And so, guys, obviously with college football, there's so many games going on. There's a lot of different edges that are out there. That's why I gave a lot of bets for this. This is what I'm going to be looking at for the underdog bet of the day here. Again, just with underdog specifically, whenever we're seeing prop bets where it's telling us to bet the over specifically for higher fantasy score, those are ones that I like to see because, again, they're a little bit more aggressive in their lines. We do have Jackson Dart for under his fantasy score. That's seemingly a good one, especially compared to PrizePicks. And then I do like Jalen Noel to get his over fantasy score a little bit better. This is one of the bets that I had there in there for the middling, as well as Jackson Dart. So, it's kind of two ways to look at it. I think these are good edges here on underdog, but also, the middling bets, we're really just betting on one of the sites being wrong. Especially because we don't have that average sportsbook data for a lot of them. Then Dylan Gabriel, I just think he's going to continue to play well. Obviously, a little bit matchup based as lines a little bit lower. Projection data really likes his over there. And we are seeing a big prop line difference between how PrizePicks and underdog is valuing. If you think he's going to have a bad game, bet his under on PrizePicks. And again, guys, this is just for fun, but I want to call out, I will be running out these over fantasy scores here as well. I'm not going to include this in the bet of the day record. This is just a bet I'm running out in an 8-slip bet, just kind of fun. I just really like the prop line differences that we're getting specifically with these three, just massive. Like if you look at their game logs as well, and I hate doing this, I hate saying this, but they've been crushing their overs, and I don't want to use like recency bias or the green bar bias, if you will, like PrizePicks shows, but I like those. I mean, it's just nice to see. So I'm willing to bet on that again. But again, massive prop line differences there for them. Now get into PrizePicks. And so looking at guys, again, I kind of like the idea of doing a game stack here with those two quarterbacks. When you include more prop bets, it doesn't change the payout. So Armstrong for lower his receiving yards. Again, I called out just kind of like the potential game script there. Trevor Etienne to get over his rush yards. Again, I feel like that's just a good one there going up against Florida with two other running backs out. His workload should be a little bit higher. And then, yeah, Ronco back to get over his fantasy score. Again, we saw a big prop line difference there. I like the matchup there going against Texas Tech. And if we're betting the receiver to get over on Underdog, then this is kind of a nice way to go about stacking that without a reduced payout there. I don't mind that idea. It's a sneaky way to do that. So that's going to be all for this video, guys. Make sure to use the promo codes that you saw during the video. If you guys are looking to sign up for PrizePicks or Underdog for the first time, that does help out the channel a lot. Another thing that helps out the channel is just liking the video. Comment your guys' favorite prop bet, whether that be in this video or another one that I didn't call out. Again, college football is massive. I wouldn't consider myself like a college football expert by any means as well. Just more of a consumer, more looking at the data and spots where we can attack. Whereas like NFL, PGA, and NBA, I definitely consider myself an expert. So a little bit different, but kind of that's what makes it fun as well. Again, if you guys want access to any of the tools, head on over to 9to5sports.com. That does give you access then once you sign up to all the tools for just $10 a month. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.